Hello, I'm Bill Gates. In this video, you're going to see the future.
What if the world's biggest software company tried to build a console? And what if nobody believed they could? In 2001, Microsoft made a risky move driven not by gaming tradition, but by urgency and ambition. A response to a changing industry and a growing fear that the future of gaming might leave the PC behind. This is the story of how that fear became a console, and how that console changed everything. To truly understand the Xbox, we need to rewind a bit and look at the company behind it. In the late 1990s, Microsoft was a behemoth in the tech industry, primarily known for its ubiquitous Windows operating system and the Office suite. Gaming on PC was significant, and Microsoft's DirectX API played a crucial role in enabling that. However, the console market was a different beast altogether, dominated by the likes of Sony with their PlayStation and Nintendo. Microsoft watched as Sony unveiled its vision for the PlayStation 2, not just a gaming console, but a potential central hub for home entertainment, capable of playing DVDs and more. This ambition sparked concern within Microsoft. They saw a future where consoles could encroach upon the territory traditionally held by personal computers in the living room. The genesis of the Xbox can be traced back to 1998, when 4 engineers from Microsoft's DirectX team, Kevin Backus, Seamus Blackley, Ted Hayes, and DirectX team leader Otto Burkus, began discussing ideas for a new console based on Microsoft's DirectX technology. The project was initially codenamed Midway, a reference to the Battle of Midway during World War II, symbolizing Microsoft's desire to decisively defeat Sony in the console marketplace. The core team envisioned a console that would be powerful and familiar to PC game developers, making it easier to bring high-fidelity games to the platform. Their initial concept involved running a version of Windows 2000 with DirectX 8.1, a move that would theoretically streamline the development process for cross-platform titles. On March 30th, 1999, the DirectX team held their first official development meeting. Key discussions revolved around fundamental aspects like achieving a faster boot time than a typical PC. The goal was to harness the power of PC hardware while delivering the streamlined, user-friendly experience expected of a console. Another contentious design decision was adding Ethernet connectivity rather than simple dial-up networking. While most consumer homes had internet access by this time, social networks were not yet established. The Xbox team argued that with planned Xbox Live functionality, Ethernet would allow friends to continue playing together even after graduating and moving away from each other, a prescient decision that would later prove crucial to the platform's success. Throughout the console's prototyping phase, Microsoft initially worked with AMD for the CPU. According to Blackley, shortly before the system's reveal in January 2001, Microsoft engineers switched to an Intel CPU, a decision that hadn't yet been communicated to AMD prior to the announcement. The naming process for the console explored several name ideas. Some of the options included Windows Entertainment Project, Microsoft Total Gaming, and Microsoft Interactive Center. DirectX Box was eventually shortened to Xbox through an email conversation, becoming the team's preferred name despite objections from Microsoft's marketing department, which suggested alternatives like 11X. During focus testing, Xbox was included simply to demonstrate its expected unpopularity, but surprisingly emerged as consumers' favorite option, thus becoming the official product name. The physical design evolved significantly from concept to production. When designing the controller, circuit boards had already been manufactured, creating constraints. Microsoft asked Sony's supplier, Mitsumi Electric, for a folded and stacked circuit board design similar to Sony's DualShock 2 controller, but the company refused. This limitation resulted in the original controller being bulky and nearly 3 times the size of Sony's controller. The Duke, how it was later nicknamed, was never launched in Japan, where a smaller controller S was released instead. Bill Gates first publicly mentioned the Xbox in a late 1999 interview, expressing his desire for the system to be the platform of choice for the best and most creative game developers in the world. It was officially announced by Gates at the Game Developers Conference in San Jose on March 10, 2000, where he showcased an early prototype and demonstrations of its hardware capabilities. The presentation was well received, with developers impressed by both the hard drive and Ethernet port, as well as the promise of easy-to-use development tools.
Looking forward to seeing what you're going to be able to do with it. Thank you.
The Xbox was officially unveiled to the public by Bill Gates and professional wrestler Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson at CES 2001 in Las Vegas. Microsoft's choice to include The Rock, a major entertainment figure at the time, likely aimed to broaden the console's appeal beyond traditional gamers, leveraging his charisma and mainstream popularity to generate excitement and position the Xbox as a powerful entertainment platform. Microsoft announced release dates and prices at E3 2001 in May, and most launch titles were revealed at the same event, with Halo and Dead or Alive 3 garnering particular attention. Event marketing played a crucial role in building anticipation for the Xbox. The console maintained a significant presence at gaming conventions, where Bill Gates received rockstar treatment. The Times Square launch event created valuable media coverage, depicting thousands of eager fans lining up at midnight to purchase the console directly from Gates himself. The final hardware specifications were impressive for the time. The Xbox featured a 32-bit 733 MHz Intel Pentium 3 Coppermine-based processor, a 133 MHz front-side bus with 1.06 GB per second bandwidth, 64 MB of unified DDR SD-RAM, and NVIDIA's 233 MHz NV2A GPU. This technical prowess made it more powerful than its contemporaries, capable of rendering up to 925 million pixels per second and handling up to 21 million 32-pixel triangles per second. On November 15, 2001, the Xbox officially launched in North America, priced at $299. 3 days before Nintendo's GameCube hit shelves, Microsoft created a spectacle for the occasion, holding a special midnight event at the newly opened flagship Toys R Us store in Times Square, New York City. 1,000 consoles were shipped to the store to kick off sales, with Bill Gates personally selling the first Xbox console. Gates didn't just make a brief appearance. He stayed to greet people waiting in line and played games with customers at the numerous display units. The launch lineup of games was crucial, and Microsoft delivered with titles that showcased the console's graphical prowess. Perhaps the most significant of these was Halo: Combat Evolved. This sci-fi first-person shooter not only became a critical darling, but also a system seller, demonstrating the Xbox's capabilities and introducing a flagship franchise that would define the console's early success. The game revolutionized console first-person shooters with intuitive controls, powerful AI, and wide-open level design. The multiplayer component, especially Halo 2's integration with Xbox Live, transformed online console gaming and established a blueprint for future online services. The launch was remarkably successful. Within just 3 weeks, sales surpassed 1 million units, climbing to 1.5 million by the end of 2001. The console also achieved one of the highest ever attachment rates at launch, with over 3 games sold per unit according to NPD Group data. This strong performance was largely driven by the critical and commercial success of Halo, which would sell 1 million copies by April 2002 and attain an impressive 50% attach rate for the console. In 2002, the company rolled out an aggressive marketing campaign. One of the most memorable and somewhat controversial marketing slogans was, "It's good to play together," often showcased in edgy and sometimes bizarre commercials. These advertisements aimed to create a distinct identity for the Xbox, one that was perhaps a bit more rebellious and focused on hardcore gaming than its competitors. One television advertisement in the United Kingdom depicted a mother giving birth to a baby boy who was fired like a projectile through a window, aging rapidly as he flew through the air before finally crash landing into his own grave. The ad ended with the slogan, "Life is short, play more." The Independent Television Commission banned the commercial after complaints that it was offensive, shocking, and in bad taste. While some of their marketing efforts drew criticism for being too aggressive or unconventional, they undeniably helped the Xbox stand out in a crowded market. The X logo and the signature green color became instantly recognizable symbols of Microsoft's gaming venture. Japanese marketing represented Microsoft's greatest challenge and eventual failure. Despite efforts to tailor the console to Japanese preferences, including the development of the smaller Controller S, the marketing never successfully addressed cultural perceptions of American products or the Xbox's large physical size. Microsoft attempted to secure Japan-exclusive titles like Panzer Dragoon Orta and position the console as a hardcore gaming device. But these efforts yielded minimal results. In November 2002, Microsoft launched Xbox Live, a fee-based online gaming service that would prove revolutionary. The Xbox Live Starter Kit, priced at $49.99, included a one-year subscription, headset, and demo disc featuring online-capable games. This represented one of the first subscription-based services in console gaming, a model that would eventually become industry standard. Unlike existing online console services, Xbox Live was integrated into the original console design through the built-in Ethernet port. The service gave Microsoft an early foothold in online gaming and helped establish the Xbox as a relevant competitor to other sixth-generation consoles. In its first week of operation, Xbox Live received 100,000 subscriptions. By July 2004, the service had reached 1 million subscribers. While Halo had established the Xbox's reputation at launch, 2002 and 2003 saw several high-profile releases that helped the console gain momentum. Microsoft purchased Rare, the developer responsible for many Nintendo 64 hit games, to expand its first-party portfolio. The launch lineup included 19 titles in North America, anchored by Halo but also featuring games across multiple genres, including racing, fighting, action-adventure, and sports. This diversity aimed to demonstrate the platform's broad appeal despite being Microsoft's first console. First-person shooters became synonymous with the Xbox brand, largely due to Halo's influence. The franchise's success spawned numerous competitors in the genre, including Timesplitters 2, Call of Duty, and Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Microsoft actively courted developers of PC shooters, leveraging the Xbox's mouse-like dual analog controls and technical capabilities to bring previously keyboard and mouse-centric experiences to the console market. Role-playing games represented another strength for the platform. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, developed by BioWare, is considered one of the most beloved Star Wars games ever made. Set thousands of years before the films, the game allowed players to shape their characters' alignment through moral choices, featuring deep turn-based combat and a shocking story twist that stunned players. It demonstrated the console's ability to deliver deep, narrative-driven experiences. The Elder Scrolls III: Morrowind offered console players a truly open-ended RPG experience, with a vast world filled with lore, factions, and side quests that laid the groundwork for later hits like Oblivion and Skyrim. Its arrival on the platform broadened the scope of console RPGs and demonstrated the Xbox's capability to handle complex and immersive experiences. Japanese RPGs appeared less frequently, though titles like Fable and Jade Empire showed Western developers growing confidence in the genre. Racing games showcased the Xbox's graphical prowess particularly well. Project Gotham Racing established a unique kudos system that rewarded stylish driving rather than just speed, while Forza Motorsport, introduced later in the console's lifecycle, emphasized realistic physics and car customization. Together, these franchises created a robust alternative to PlayStation's Gran Turismo series. Sports titles benefited from the Xbox's technical advantages, especially in online play. While EA Sports initially resisted Xbox Live integration due to concerns about Microsoft's long-term intentions, titles like NFL Fever and NBA Inside Drive demonstrated the potential for online sports gaming. Microsoft eventually secured EA's participation on Xbox Live in 2004, bringing franchises like Madden NFL and FIFA Soccer to the service. The Xbox also established itself as a haven for mature-themed games. The console's demographic skewed older than Nintendo's platforms, allowing titles like Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas to find a receptive audience and contribute to the console's appeal to players seeking more adult-oriented gaming experiences. This open-world action-adventure game, developed by Rockstar North, immerses players in the sprawling fictional state of San Andreas, inspired by California and Nevada during the early 90s. Players control Carl C.J. Johnson, who returns to his hometown of Los Santos after his mother's murder and becomes entangled in gang life, crime, and corruption. Its expansive map, freedom of exploration, and mature themes resonated with players, contributing significantly to the Xbox's appeal. Ninja Gaiden, developed by Team Ninja, brought precision-based combat to Xbox players. Infamous for its difficulty but praised for rewarding mastery, it pushed the Xbox hardware with fluid animations and stylish visuals. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell was another notable multi-platform title. Developed by Ubisoft, this stealth action series capitalized on the Xbox's graphical power to deliver immersive espionage experiences. This stealth action series places players in the role of Sam Fisher, a highly skilled special operative for a Black Ops subdivision of the NSA. The games emphasize tactical espionage, requiring players to utilize stealth, gadgets, and environmental awareness to outmaneuver enemies and complete objectives. Microsoft also supported more artistic and experimental titles. Jet Set Radio Future from Sega combined rollerblading, graffiti tagging, and a rebellious youth culture aesthetic set in a futuristic Tokyo. With its cel-shaded art style and eclectic soundtrack, it became one of the most visually and sonically distinct games on the platform. Panzer Dragoon Orta continued the Sega Saturn's rail shooter legacy with modern visuals and deeper story elements. Psychonauts, despite commercial struggles, received critical acclaim for its creative level design and humorous writing. Phantom Dust, Steel Battalion, and Panzer Dragoon Orta developed dedicated followings despite limited commercial success. By the end of its life cycle, the Xbox had accumulated a library of approximately 1,000 titles spanning virtually every genre. While it never matched PlayStation 2's massive 4,000-plus game collection, the Xbox established several franchises that would become pillars of Microsoft's gaming strategy for decades to come. To enhance the gaming experience, the original Xbox featured a range of peripherals, some of which became quite iconic. The standard controller, the Duke, was initially quite large, which led to the later introduction of the smaller and more ergonomic Controller S, which eventually became the standard worldwide. The Steel Battalion controller, with its dual joysticks, numerous buttons, and foot pedals, was a truly unique and immersive way to play that hardcore mech simulation. Even though its high price and niche appeal limited its widespread adoption, the Xbox also supported various other accessories such as memory units for saving game progress, especially important before the built-in hard drive became standard across all models, headsets for voice communication on Xbox Live, and DVD playback kits, as Microsoft envisioned the console as a home entertainment device. In July 2004, Microsoft reported the system had sold 15 million units worldwide, 10 million in North America, 4 million in Europe, and 1.5 million in Asia, capturing a 33% market share in the United States. The year 2004 brought more exclusive hits that strengthened the platform. The most significant release came later that year, when Halo 2 launched to unprecedented fanfare. The game made over $125 million in its first day alone, becoming the highest-grossing release in entertainment history at that time, and cementing its status as the best-selling Xbox game worldwide. Halo 2 was Xbox Live's third killer app, following Mech Assault and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six 3, driving adoption of the online service. That same year, Microsoft negotiated a deal to bring Electronic Arts' popular titles to Xbox Live, further boosting the service's appeal. Despite strong sales in North America, Microsoft struggled to profit from the Xbox due to its high manufacturing costs. Each console sold at the initial $299 retail price represented a loss of approximately $125, as the units cost $425 to manufacture. This meant Microsoft would need to rely on software sales to recoup its hardware investments. The situation worsened in April 2002, when Microsoft lowered the retail price to $199 to drive hardware sales. The Xbox faced particularly steep challenges in Japan. Despite Microsoft's ambitious goal of shipping 6 million Japanese Xbox consoles by June 2002, the system had sold only 190,000 units in the region by April, considerably less than both the PS2 and GameCube, and failed to place a single title in the top 50 best-selling games. By the end of its lifespan, the Xbox would sell only under 500,000 units in Japan. While Microsoft couldn't match Sony's dominance, the PlayStation 2 would ultimately sell over 155 million units, compared to the Xbox's 24 million. The company established itself as a serious competitor in the console market. As 2005 approached, Microsoft began phasing out the original Xbox in preparation for its successor. Games that had been in development for the Xbox, such as Cameo Elements of Power and Perfect Dark Zero, were redirected to become launch titles for the upcoming Xbox 360. On May 12, 2005, Microsoft officially announced the Xbox 360 on MTV, marking it as the first next-generation system to be announced. The new console would be released in North America on November 22, 2005. The transition signaled the beginning of the end for the original Xbox. NVIDIA ceased production of the console's GPU in August 2005, effectively ending the production of new units. Support for out-of-warranty consoles was discontinued on March 2, 2009. An Xbox Live service for the original console ended on April 15, 2010, though enthusiasts found ways to continue multiplayer gaming through tunneling software like X-Link Kai. Despite the financial losses, reportedly over $4 billion on the Xbox during its market life, the console had achieved its strategic goals. It had prevented Sony from dominating the living room, established Microsoft as a major player in the gaming industry, and built a foundation for future success with the Xbox 360. Most importantly, it had created a loyal fan base drawn to exclusive franchises like Halo and the robust Xbox Live Online service. The collectible market for original Xbox hardware has grown substantially in recent years. Among the most valuable items is the Mountain Dew Xbox, a limited edition neon green console from a 2004 promotional campaign. With only around 5,000 units made and never sold in stores, these rare consoles now fetch between $1,000 and $5,000 depending on condition. Development kits known as DVT and XDK consoles have become highly sought after by collectors. These units, which were never intended for public release, can sell for $1,500 to over $10,000, particularly if they have connections to specific studios or contain early builds of famous games. Other valuable collectibles include the Halo Special Edition Xbox, with its translucent green casing, the Japan-exclusive Panzer Dragoon Orta limited edition white console, and the European Crystal Edition, with its fully transparent case. Consoles signed by Xbox creator Seamus Blackley command premium prices, as do complete in-box Steel Battalion controllers. The last game released in North America was Madden NFL 09 in August 2008, nearly 3 years after the launch of the Xbox 360. The final Xbox game in Europe was Shaolin Showdown, released in June 2007, while Japan's last title was the King of Fighters Neo Wave in March 2006. The Xbox's impact on Microsoft's strategy was profound. What began as a defensive play to protect Windows from Sony's push into the living room became one of the company's most successful ventures outside of enterprise software. By the time the Xbox 360 arrived, Microsoft's gaming division was generating over $1 billion in annual profit. But perhaps more surprising was how the Xbox redefined the company's image, transforming it from a buttoned-up business giant into a brand that was suddenly cool, bold, and part of pop culture. Yet the legacy of the original Xbox goes far beyond profits or perception. It set new standards with online multiplayer and a subscription model that reshaped how players engaged with games. These features didn't just push the industry forward, they became expectations. In many ways, the original Xbox didn't just compete in the console wars, it quietly rewrote the rules of the game. Thanks for joining me on this trip through the history of this legendary console. If there is any interesting gaming phenomena you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you don't miss more videos like this one. See you next time.